Look, man, times are changing. Sometimes it feels like they just don't release as many big AAA games as they used to. And when they do, it's a 50-50 shot of whether or not they're actually good. But there are so many more video games out there in the AA and indie scene, and some stuff we've seen recently kind of go viral that has been blowing our minds. So here are 10 upcoming games that we stumbled across on the internet that just genuinely look insanely awesome. This isn't the final word or anything, like we don't know if these games are actually gonna be good when they release, so we don't wanna get too hyped up, but just our first impressions, they're looking kinda cool. Let's get started off with number 10. Project Spectrum is definitely an interesting one. I mean, look at it on screen here. The graphics look out of this world. The big reveal for this game that definitely made a splash with people was this pretty lengthy, kind of cinematic gameplay reveal that was clearly very staged, very focused to like really set a scene. It's like these elite operatives with guns and equipment sneaking around this spooky woods and then ultimately infiltrating this mansion-like area using, ghost hunting technology. As they investigate, things quickly go south and they face off against these cool mimic-like monsters. Everything from just like the atmosphere, the environments, the lighting, the realistic-looking weapons, the slow tension, just seems really, really cool and what a lot of players are looking for. In reality though, I don't know if this is what everybody's looking for because this is technically a multiplayer game. As incredible and cinematic as this gameplay trailer was, this is actually an asymmetric PvPvE tactical shooter, and it's going to be free to play. You're going to customize your characters, you're going to build out their kit, and you're going to go out and hunt these weird, mysterious ghosts, with one player playing as this monster. And this is from developer Team Jade, the people behind more recently Delta Force. I believe they've also worked on Call of Duty Mobile. They're based out of China, and yeah, this does look really cool. Even if the asymmetrical multiplayer thing, to me, feels kind of played out, maybe they can do it differently. If anything, visually, it's still just something I want to check out. The atmosphere, if they can actually nail it with the final game, it just looks really, really special. Hopefully it doesn't get bogged down by a bunch of like free-to-play multiplayer crap that kind of kills the vibe, but we're just gonna have to wait and see. No release date on this one yet, but again, it's a team that is experienced with multiplayer games at least, so hopefully they nail it. Next at number 9, check this one out. It's called DEFECT. This is technically an immersive single-player shooter, but it's also going to have co-op and PvP integrated modes. It's technically like a slow, tactical, squad-based immersive shooter set in this dark cyberpunk world. And it looks absolutely awesome. The way it's built here, it's like a world that's like ruled by AI. And you're going in, you're doing missions, you're using cool guns and technology and hacking with different kind of dynamic objectives going down. Visually, from the screenshots from the video, this looks absolutely stunning. A real good cyberpunk atmosphere that still manages to stand out from the rest of like cyberpunk things. I think this could be something. About a month or so ago, they put out like a good lengthy 5-minute extended gameplay reveal trailer, and yeah, it does look like a cool shooter. Also, it seems like Mick Gordon is involved doing the music. Of course, he was the famed composer behind Doom 2016, so I'm in. It seems like it might be doing interesting stuff with like the cyberpunk hacking and like teammates overriding enemies and each other and stuff. There's definitely potential here. The only thing is that we don't know too much about the developers working on it, but hopefully this game turns out to actually look as good as what they're showing. Sometimes we get tricked, but if they can nail this one, DEFECT could be a really interesting multiplayer shooter in a world filled with a bunch of bland ones. Next at number 8, check out The Lift. I talked about this on the Friday news show we do every Friday. We've been doing for like 10 years now, and I mentioned this game just because the concept alone is absolutely crazy. You're this lonely handyman guy that works on this massive research facility that you quickly learn to realize that it is completely abandoned. So it's up to you to go around, fix stuff, figure out what's going on. It's this kind of like vaguely Soviet sci-fi style adventure. You got cool robots, cool kind of retro technology, and the game just looks like this really interesting mix or hybrid between like a survival crafting game mixed with a little bit of Deep Rock Galactic, mixed with a little power wash simulator. It's just really inspired. The style of it is something that you don't really see in games, and then, you know, the combination of different gameplay elements looks like it could just make for a really cool sci-fi game. Plus, the fact that most of the time you're just wandering around figuring out this environment and fixing it, the actual fixing and repairing and crafting stuff just looks genuinely unique and different and fun, and not mundane like it could be in some other games. The publisher, Tiny Build, has released some really creative, cool games in the past. They seem like they've got an eye for oddball games, so hopefully the Lift delivers when it releases sometime in 2026. Next, over at number 7, check out Covenant. This is a first-person dark fantasy combat game. It's you in first person swinging massive swords, wielding deadly magic, and graphically it looks crazy impressive. Not to mention the game seems heavily inspired by the Dark Souls games, and I'm saying that because the developers themselves are labeling this game a Souls-like with the bosses, the difficulty, but also the creature design and the mood and atmosphere. It looks like a kind of Souls-like thing mashed up with a little bit of Doom Eternal. And that just sounds like a really cool idea. Apparently it's going to take place in this, kind of detailed, interconnected world. And it's this studio, Legion Studio, which we don't know too much about, but the trailer does say that it's made up of people who have worked on other big AAA franchises, like Doom, Call of Duty, Halo, Battlefield, Apex Legends, Destiny. Look, that's crazy. If that is the case, and a bunch of people that worked on those games came together and made this, maybe it's something worth keeping an eye on. It is definitely early, it has no release date, and it's one of those trailers that could just totally end up being nothing like the final game, but it is shaping up to look pretty cool with what the gameplay that they have put out there. So we'll just have to wait and see how Covenant shakes out, but it could be awesome. Next at number 6, check this out. In case you missed this reveal, this is Tides of Tomorrow. A couple of months back, this was fully revealed, and this is a first-person, multiplayer, narrative-driven adventure game that actually seems like it's trying to innovate and really push things forward with telling a story in a multiplayer game. And it looks incredibly weird, but in a good way. Bright, colorful, cartoony, a little post-apocalyptic, but based on the water. Driving a boat, doing runs, going on adventures. It looks like a kind of weird, heisty, sci-fi Sea of Thieves, but with an even livelier color palette and just a lot of stuff going on, especially with how choices are gonna work and how the choices you make might affect other people's games. I really like the environments they've shown off. Honestly, this one just looks really impressive. It seems like you're dealing with a lot of creative and colorful NPCs. Hopefully they aren't annoying, but from like the heist escape stuff, the stealth elements, and these detailed worlds, I really want to see how Tides of Tomorrow shakes out, because the way it's structured, you should definitely look into it. It seems like it might be pretty ambitious. It does have a release date. As of right now, it's releasing February 24th, 2026. Next at number 5, this is one that we've been looking forward to for a really long time. It's Mouse, PI for Hire. You may have remembered us talking about this game way back when it was just teased as little clips on social media with one developer trying something out. Now, Mouse PI for Hire is a full-fledged game with a publisher, and it's releasing in 2026, and it looks awesome. You got hand-drawn 1930s style animation here, stuff we've kind of seen pioneered with Cuphead with hand-drawn animation, but here, a different art style, black and white, and different type of game. It's a first-person shooter adventure with cartoony, over-the-top weapons in this kind of old-timey 1930s noir-style world where you play as this mouse detective going around, engaging with all other types of mice and creatures, and it just looks really cool. It's going to be level-based, but apparently a lot of these levels are going to be sandboxy with some Metroidvania-style exploration and movement elements, which I think is pretty interesting. But also, not only does the game look really good, of course that's like the main event here, but the game is also going to be backed by apparently an incredible soundtrack. They've got a whole big jazz band here to perform music of the era, of the style. And that's honestly so awesome, because you have like a band coming together to make great music to back a game. The game itself is already made with hand-drawn animation. It just seems like a real labor of love, and sometimes you can really feel that when you play these games. Look, I hope it turns out to be good, man, because the ideas on paper are so cool. Thankfully, we'll know for sure when it releases March 19th, 2026. Oh, and also, if you haven't yet, sometimes we ask this, consider subscribing. If you haven't, statistically, it seems like a lot of people watch, but not everybody subscribes. So if you do, you get notified for our videos every day. If you've already subscribed now or 10 years ago, thank you very much. But anyway, subscribe if you haven't. Let's move on. Next at number 4, Valor Mortis. Check this out. This made a big splash earlier this year for kind of being like a Napoleonic era horror first-person game. You've got weapons of the time period, you've got costume designs, soldiers, incredible environments, gorgeous graphics, but it goes a step further with the developers specifically labeling this a Souls-like game. But it's in first person and it's primarily melee based with some pistol stuff. I think that's potentially really interesting. Earlier this year, the game did do some kind of like small play tests and players got their hands on it. It seems like the sentiment has been pretty positive so far, but we're really hoping that they can knock the whole project out of the park, because from the trailers we've seen now, there's another one that released recently. We see some really incredible enemy and monster designs and some potentially awesome and probably really challenging, let's be real, boss battles. Still, for me, it's the setting, the time period, the kind of like dark, gross nature of it. I am on board for Valor Mortis. No release date yet, but we know it's releasing sometime in 2026. Now down at number 3, check out Ill. This is another one that has been long in the works and initially wowed people with its weird viral YouTube clips just because of how downright gross it is. This is a straight up horror first-person shooter with survival horror elements. The first trailers, like visually, the game just looked too good to be true. A lot of us kind of thought it wasn't even real, but now it is a full-fledged game. It got picked up by Mundfish, the people behind Atomic Heart, so it's got like a real producer behind it, and the newest trailer just looked even more awesome. Incredibly atmospheric, great use of detail and light and darkness, and the most disgusting looking enemy designs I've seen in a long time. Apparently the game is actually going to have a cool gore and dismemberment system as well, which just works so perfect for this type of thing. I want to blow these guys to pieces. They're nasty. Visually impressive, yes, but also going full grotesque, like a level of grotesqueness that I don't think I've really seen in a game before, and that's why it initially caught our eyes. But now, with it getting that whole new trailer this year, it's good to see that it's coming along as a full-fledged product. We love just like a regular old single-player survival horror game. There's still not enough of them now, so we're really rooting for this game. If they can nail it and it actually releases and it looks like this, it could be incredible. As of right now, Ill does not have a release date, but maybe we'll hear more soon. Next, down at number 2, quite a ride. Check this out. This looks kind of like Pacific Drive, but on a bicycle. Look, without being too reductive, Pacific Drive from last year was an incredible game. And if that just continues some of those ideas, that's awesome. Here, it looks like you're in the Pacific Northwest, you're on a bicycle, and that's your only means of survival as you get through this weird, mysterious world with weird creatures and scientific anomalies. Apparently, it's going to be billed as a bicycle survival game. You need to always be moving forward because, you know, the horrors are creeping up behind you, but you're also going to have to dodge all these weird anomalies that come out of the fog in front of you. The developers are calling it like an ever-changing world where you're always going to be stumbling upon things like, you know, old abandoned houses or secret laboratories to find stuff to help you progress while also managing your phone. This device has some like weird anomaly in it that helps you, but you run out of battery pretty quickly, and the only way to charge the phone, which is necessary for survival, is by pedaling your bicycle. So it's a way to keep you moving and keep you using your tools in potentially a creative way. This atmospherically looks cool. The monster designs, the weird abstract Cthulhu horrors look pretty sweet. And I hope they nail this one, especially because it looks like it's got a little bit of like a Death Stranding element to it. The Steam page, when you look, actually talks about a collective progress, saying, and I quote, "Players' collective global efforts can change the environment, unlocking new locations, hidden characters, and secret quests over time." I love the way that stuff went down with Death Stranding, and if they can even do a little bit of that here, that would be really cool, and a way to keep this game feeling fresh. This is one of the few games on this list that has a developer that actually worked on something previously. Their last game was well received, so we're looking forward to hearing about this one more. It looks kind of scary, but also you can get a cool dog in your basket, so I'm in. No release date yet, but quite a ride definitely has something. Now, number 1, Animal Use Protocol. Check this out. This is a first-person shooter where you play as like this badass monkey guy, like real apes together strong type energy, but not only does he talk, but he's got a cool gun. He's got this gun and a mouse friend sitting on top of the gun that talks to you. And graphically, atmospheric, it looks like the right amount of tension and cool action and kind of like sci-fi weird elements. This was made by The Brotherhood, who did Status and Status Bone Totem. So this isn't just like some goofball like throwaway thing. This could potentially be a really substantial game. And I mean, that trailer that dropped like, 8-9 months ago, that really blew us away. Just like the kind of dark, scary exploration, kind of like a Half-Life mixed with, I don't know, Oddworld Stranger's Wrath with like the critters on your gun. But I don't know, I'm always just looking for things I haven't seen before, and Animal Use Protocol just seems like a cool, interesting little video game idea. As of right now, we just know it's coming sometime in 2026, and we're looking forward to it. But hey, those are 10 upcoming FPS games that just look really insane. Really creative stuff, just some concepts we haven't seen before from the first-person perspective. You'll love to see it, We're always looking for new and creative video game ideas, so that's what we did today. And if you like that, and if you appreciate that, clicking the like button helps us out. We really appreciate it. And if you're new, consider subscribing, because we put out videos every single day. But as always, just thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.